Hey Girl Scouts, welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about Mardi Gras. So today I am going to be teaching you how to make a Mardi Gras mask and giving you some history and facts about what Mardi Gras is and why it is celebrated. So Mardi Gras is celebrated mostly in the United States in the South. In Louisiana, specifically New Orleans, is the big event that most people will know about. And during the celebration, they get all dressed up and go very extravagant with glitter and sequins and feathers and capes and all kinds of flashy clothing. And so we are making a mask to celebrate Mardi Gras this year. So that is where we are starting. I did not have any feathers to make my mask, so what you are seeing right now is me drawing out some feather shapes, and these are going to be my feathers for my Mardi Gras mask. So for those who don't know, Mardi Gras actually stands for Fat Tuesday. And if you don't know what Fat Tuesday is, it is the Tuesday before Lent begins. And Lent is usually celebrated by Christians. And the Christians celebrate Lent or practice Lent to prepare for Easter. So when the immigrants came to the United States, they did bring a lot of their traditions with them, and one of them is the Mardi Gras celebration. So Mardi Gras is the big celebration before Lent where people usually give up some kind of thing that they indulge on any other time of the year. A lot of times people will give up chocolate, or they'll give up pop, or different things that they would give up. And then at the end of Lent, they will start eating that thing, or they'll pick back up whatever they had given up during the time of Lent. Also during Lent, meat is usually not eaten. They can eat fish, but for the most part, they don't eat any red meats during that time either. So during this celebration, they go all out. They eat lots of fatty foods. Usually, here in Michigan, the thing that we always know about on Fat Tuesday is going to be punchkis, which are like a donut, super filled with like jellies and jams. Sometimes they have custards in them, and a lot of times they're covered in powdered sugar, and I absolutely love the raspberry ones. So anyway, that is a little clip of what Mardi Gras is. It actually only is technically one day. It is that Fat Tuesday, but most people do know Mardi Gras to be a celebration over a course of time. But in all reality, Fat Tuesday is just one day as a part of a big celebration of Carnival, which begins in January. So it is a really big event. So, and then that event can change from place to place because it is celebrated on all kinds of locations. Some people start as early as before Thanksgiving. So back to our masks today. As you can see, I have cut out feathers, and this is the beginning of that. They kind of just look like a leaf right now, but I promise they'll look like feathers in a little bit. These feathers and my mask are going to only be made out of purple, green, and gold paper, okay? You can use cardstock. All I had was construction paper. It's gonna work the same. These three colors do stand for something. They are important in the Mardi Gras culture. So, purple stands for justice, green stands for faith, and then actually the yellow is gold, and that stands for power. So it is important that those colors are used. You can use other colors in there to brighten it up, but those three colors are the main important colors of Mardi Gras. Alright, so as you can see, I have got my feather bases all cut out, and what I am doing now is folding them in half, and I'm just going to cut the edges. I want to cut the side that's going to be open, not the closed side, because if you cut the closed side, it's going to look more like when you cut a snowflake in the winter, instead of cutting to give you that feather shape. So you're going to cut a lot of tiny little cuts. You are going to want to cut almost to the center. I didn't on this first one and realized it didn't look as good. It will still work, but just be careful. If you cut right down the center there, you will cut your feather off. So I just want to point out that the music that you're hearing playing in the background of this video is jazz music. It is very common to hear jazz music in New Orleans all year long, but it is very, very prominent during the Mardi Gras time. There are lots of parades, lots of flashy clothing, like I said earlier, and these big fancy floats where they get all dressed up and they play this really loud, beautiful jazz music to celebrate, okay? So go ahead and dance along to this music. It is lots of fun, and I encourage you to go out and listen to some more jazz music because it is beautiful and it is a great part of our culture. Alright, so now I am finishing up these feathers and we are going to move into the base of the mask. So I cut out my hands. I did have an issue recording me cutting my own hands out there. So I did just trace them and cut them out, and then I am drawing where I would put my eyes. I do not suggest cutting them out before you decide the orientation or how you want your mask to be shaped. I did that and then figured out my eyes were kind of funky. So go ahead and draw them on there for an idea, but don't place them quite yet. You don't want to cut them out. Okay, so this is one orientation, one way that you can set up your mask. It was one of the better ways for my eyes being cut out. This is another way. And then the final way that you normally would see with hands is this way, but obviously my eyes were cut wrong and couldn't do that. And now I'm going to just cut those eye socket holes out. And it is a little difficult. You'll probably need an adult's help, and you're definitely going to want small scissors for this task. Okay, so I'm going to decorate my mask with puffy paint with glitter. I didn't have any sequins either, but a lot of times you'll see sequins on these masks, like very, very common for there to be sequins. They are very flashy, very shiny, very bright. So go ahead, and this is totally up to you how you want to decorate this part of your mask. You can put swirls and dots and all kinds of things. I did do lots of swirls and lots of dots on mine. I had a blast. So go ahead, make it totally unique to you, and please make sure you post your photos when you're done. Put them in the comments and tag us here at gshom so that we can see all of your beautiful Mardi Gras masks. I am so excited to see what you guys have created. Alright, so you can also use paint on your masks if you want to. I didn't have my paint with me, but I wish I would have. It would have given me some more color. If you are using puffy paint or glitter glue, be careful. As you can see, I got a little heavy-handed, and it did run, and it didn't dry in time for me to show you guys how to tie the mask. So be careful, and if you do use a lot of paint or glitter glue or puffy paint, give it a lot of time to dry, okay? Alright, so I'm almost done with decorating this half of my mask. I did have to adjust that bottom line. It looked a little funky, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. As you can see, it did start to run together with some of my dots, so do be careful if you are using puffy paint. Alright, so here are both of my hands all decorated. And then this is how I would stick them together with my feathers. Once it's dry, I would just attach a string to both sides to wrap around my head. And here are some beautiful Mardi Gras beads that are usually given out at parades and other events during this season. Alright, happy Mardi Gras, ladies!